Hello, everybody. This is Greg, Blue Feather Ephemera at Blue Feather Ephemera eBay store. Also, now a YouTube channel by the same name. On this channel, I'll be showing off vintage print ads that I've pieced out of old magazines and sold. And that way you can get an idea of what's on the market and what people like. If you're curious about the process of acquiring, processing, listing, and selling vintage print ads, there's a couple of friends who have YouTube channels where they show you in a series of videos, each on their own channel, about how to do that step by step. And I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. I'm going to point you in their direction. They have excellent videos in their series on how to do this. So in the description of this video, you'll find links to Jiminy Flip It and also to Vintage Codger. Both of those fellows have excellent playlists which comprise videos about how to do this. In the future, if I see that I do something significantly different, and if I think there's a better way or a different way to do things from what you'd see there, I'll put it in a video. But for the foreseeable future, for now, what you're going to find here is what sold videos. So without further ado, the first ad we're going to talk about here is Ralston Purina Company, 1946 ad for cereals, different types of breakfast cereals, corn flakes, wheat flakes, oats and bran, things like that. They're based in St. Louis, Missouri. Barbara Bates is the model that's shown here. It says that she was a Universal Pictures star in a movie called Night in Paradise. And apart from that, I really don't know anything about her. She's not an actress that I know. But this advertisement is interesting because it's directed specifically toward military buyers or military shoppers. It mentions GIs and servicemen and all of that. It talks about the familiar checkerboard pattern on the box. And we know that from animal feeds in recent years. In the 1960s and 70s, when I was young, the company had more or less transitioned to a maker of feed for livestock, things like that. But anyway, a real nice ad, full page, $16.77. The next advertisement is for Delta Files, a company based in Philadelphia. I want to point out I use the name of a town, a city, wherever something was made or where the headquarters was. I always use that in the listing if there's room. That's because buyers a lot of times will have a sense of nostalgia for something that was made in their hometown, or maybe they're aware that their parents worked in a factory in a certain town, or maybe there's a vacant building down the street where they've learned that something was made, and they buy advertisements for that reason. Also want to point out this is a partial page ad. I think it's a third of a page based on the dimensions that are on the listing. $10.77 for a partial page ad. Don't be afraid to list partial pages. They sell just fine. Next, we have an ad for Acushnet golf balls from 1940. It's half page ad. It's a series of panels. They're promoting the golf balls, and I really got a kick out of panel number 4, where he says he told Mr. Monroe to hit a Titleist because a Titleist would go where you hit it. So there you are. Titleist golf balls go where you hit them. $12.77 for that ad to a buyer in South Dakota. The next ad is for Johnson Gas Appliance Company, based in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I made sure I wiggled Cedar Rapids into the title of the listing, and this is for a gas appliance that's used in different kinds of shops for heat treating, tempering, annealing different metals. And this came from a magazine called Industrial Arts, and vocational education. And I believe the year was, I think, 1952. And yeah, 1952. And wouldn't you know it, this advertisement was purchased by a buyer in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So it's going back home. $8.77 for a small ad. I believe this one measures probably about 4 by 6 inches. A partial page ad. I love this next advertisement. 1941 Carborundum abrasives, manufactured in Niagara Falls, New York. Again, I got that into the title of the listing, and it sold to a buyer in Buffalo, right next door. The ad features a 16-inch coastal gun. It says, how do you hit a target 25 miles away? Talks about precision manufacturing. So, real interest in all of the World War II ads. Have great history, really, really good art most of the time, and they're generally fascinating. Again, this is a partial page ad sold for $14.77. The next ad is for Steinway pianos, Model S. This comes from a 1936 House and Garden magazine. At the top of the picture there, it says the instrument of the immortals. So they seem mighty proud of their product there. $885 in big bold letters. That would get you a Steinway piano back in 1936. If you read down into the text of the advertisement, you could buy on terms. You got a young couple here. It looks like they are courting. They've retired to the parlor. And she's trying to dazzle him with piano skills, and he's wanting her to dazzle him with a kiss, I bet. Again, this is a full page ad, black and white. House and Garden, 1936. It sold for $18.77, going to New York. This next advertisement is a small, partial page advertisement, probably about 4 inches by 6, for Corningware Electromatic Skillet. It's an electric skillet with a blue cornflower pattern. It comes from Holiday Magazine, 1965, May issue. And in May, that's Mother's Day. That's probably why this ad landed in that month of the magazine. Those little electric gadgets around the kitchen, especially carving knives and electric skillets and things like that, seem to be good Mother's Day gifts. Some people think, anyway. And so that's what we've got here. Sold it for $8.77. This next advertisement comes from Jer Deli's Sweet Ground Chocolate Instant Cocoa Drink, from Sunset Magazine, 1937. And the little boy here tells his mom that her child deserves the best. It goes on to talk about the vitamins and protein and all of the good stuff in that chocolate drink. And it's a sweet little partial page ad, $10.77, on its way to California. I can't seem to forget you. Your wind song stays on my mind. Now you know why I don't have a singing channel. This Windsong Fragrance advertisement from 1958 is a quarter page ad, roughly about 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Prince Machiavelli is the company that made Windsong Fragrance. They ran a commercial with that jingle back in the 1970s. That's where I know it from. This advertisement predates that, but it's a nice little ad, quarter page, 1077, on its way to Pennsylvania. This advertisement is from the American Credit Indemnity Company. It's a 1941 ad, and it comes from a large format publication. So although it's a half page, it measures about 5.5 by 14 inches. And it shows a fisherman here putting his paddles into the boat. Even though he has an outboard motor, he's going to carry paddles just in case. This indemnity company, apparently, what they would do is insure retailers against credit risk. So if a good or a service was sold and the customer couldn't pay, then this indemnity company would pay if the buyer couldn't. Again, half-page ad, $14.77, sent this ad to Massachusetts. This last advertisement is from Miller's Magazine, 1996. Barbie gets her fashion sense at Macy's. And I didn't buy this magazine. Some friends gave it to me. It's obviously 1996. It's a fairly recent publication. That just goes to show you that you can sell ads from pretty much any source, any time period, any subject. Uh, After they gave me this magazine, it sat around for a while. But then when the Barbie movie came out last year, I decided to piece out that magazine. I've sold probably 6 ads from it for a net profit of about $35 or $40. This ad right here for Macy's department store sold for $12.77 and went to Florida. All right, that brings us to the end. Just to recap, I had 11 sales for a total of $140.47. And right now, I'm running a 10% off sale at Blue Feather Ephemera on eBay. So that 10% does come out of the 140. I consider that a selling cost, just like the eBay fees and the taxes that come out of the gross and all of that. So that's just a glimpse at what's going on in my eBay store, the print ads that are selling. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you come back soon. Hey, while you're here, I want to invite you to visit my eBay store, Blue Feather Mercantile. The link is down below in the description. I always say, if a thing was sold, collected, celebrated, or built, you can bet it was also advertised. Vintage advertising makes a great addition to any bar, restaurant, man cave, salon, garage, anywhere the right vibe is essential. If you like the video and want to see more content like this, you can always hit the like button. You can share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.